You seem to really love the other video that I did where I was trying out some new drugstore makeup. So this is going to be round 2, new drugstore makeup, new affordable makeup of 2025. I'm going to be digging into all of it. And I did promise you that I was going to do the Twilight New Moon collection. This one has been a little bit delayed because, of course, of the wildfires that's been going on in LA. So I got this package sent to me. I think I got it like 2 days ago. So I'm ready to dive in. We're going to be using some of these products, some other like affordable products, drugstore makeup that I have here available to me. Speaking of the wildfires, I'm actually wearing, I think you can see, it's the Plot Twist t-shirt. This is a collaboration between the author Rachel Schneider and an apparel company that does a lot of book inspired apparel, and they did this t-shirt together, and 100% of the proceeds are going towards the LA wildfire victims. So if you want to be part of that and buy this t-shirt, I bought mine myself. I will link where it's available down below. I hope it's still available. If nothing else, I will link the apparel company down below. I'll also link the Metal Slinger, which is definitely the plot twist book of 2024. One of my favorite books of 2024. If you're looking for a fun romantasy book that is such an interesting read, and I think the second book is coming in 2025. I did give this book a 5-star. I will leave that down below as well in case you're looking for a new book recommendation. But we are gonna jump into makeup, and I am actually gonna start with the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. I got requested to try this primer out, and when it comes out, it does feel like a gripping primer, and it is supposed to be a mattifying primer. And I feel like this one, when it goes on, like I said, it feels like a gripping primer, but then it almost like dries down a little bit to a matte surface. And I'm like, I feel like it kind of loses its benefits of being like a gripping primer by almost drying down to this matte surface. And I don't feel like this primer. I've tried it with so many different foundations. I'm gonna try it with one that I really love today, but I don't really feel like this primer is doing much. I don't think it's as good as the normal e.l.f. gripping primer. And I also don't think it's doing much of mattifying. I feel like of those great primers, and I just personally don't think that this is worth it. There are good mattifying primers on the market, and I totally understand that if you don't want to go for a Sephora priced one, because my favorite are the Nessa Myricks ones or the one-sized ones. I feel like it would make sense that you would want to try some for the drugstore. I just personally don't know if I think that this is the best on the market. I have a very oily T-zone and normal in the outer perimeter of my face. I'm just like, if you want a gripping primer, just get the original one. If you're actually looking for a good mattifying primer from the drugstore, I don't know if this is going to be satisfying your need, just according to my personal preferences. Okay, the foundation we're going to be using is one that I've been using so much as of late. This is the Superstay 30 Hours Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation. I have it in 220, which quite honestly is a perfect shade for me. I don't know how this one is described, but it is a perfect shade for me. I love this foundation. Okay, it is very liquidy, and it is therefore pretty thin on the skin, but I still think that this is you can build this up to a full coverage easily. Like, look at how good that shade is. It is a little smidge darker than but also like, it's a perfect shade for the rest of my body. I'm just so impressed with this foundation, and I'm using this together with this primer to just be like, is there any kind of improvement? Can this foundation be improved even more? Or, because I felt like with some foundations, I almost felt like the primer made it worse, which is, I mean, definitely not how a primer should be making you feel. So I really love this foundation. So for that reason, I want to see how it is, because I've been using this with so many foundations, but so far not with this one. So this foundation is, like I said, it is a medium buildable, like you can definitely build it up to a full coverage. It is very thin in consistency. It is a matte but not flat foundation that feels like nothing on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin because it is such a light serum-y texture, and it just looks very believable on the skin, and it holds up like you paid $1 million for it. I can't believe this is a drugstore foundation. I actually want to let me know if you're interested in this, because I have it in the back of my head. I want to do a video that's like the times the drugstore did it better. Because I have a couple of things lately where I'm like, this is better than some high-end things that I've tried. Because I do think a lot of the times, and this comes with a lot of things, food, clothing, travel, makeup, a lot of times you do get what you pay for. But a lot of times you kind of don't. And you can really find something equally good, or in this case, better than high-end for less money. So if you have combo skin or oily skin, I'm sure that this, I don't know how this is on dry skin, but I'm sure this is amazing on normal skin too. But if you are looking for something that has a little bit more coverage, that is very lightweight on the skin and has a natural matte finish, I cannot recommend this enough. I love this foundation, and it has quickly become my favorite matte foundation in my collection. And I have a lot of expensive foundations. And the thing is, right now, the glowy foundation that I'm using the most is L'Oreal. They are both drugstore foundations, and that's what I'm saying. I really want to make this video because I feel like I have a lot to say. So I did do my brows while the foundation was drying down, but here you can see the finish of the foundation. It is totally dried down. It is like touch proof, and you can see it's matte, but not entirely flat. There is something going on to it. I'm still using the Revlon Glimmer Brightening Concealer, and I'm just going to be using this a little bit under my eyes. You can see this is much lighter, but we are going to do a little almost 2016 Glamourouski, because I want to do just something fun and glamorous today. And I do like this concealer. It is a little bit more on the thicker side, but I still think that it doesn't like crease a lot. But I definitely, it's one of those concealers I do have to be careful so I don't use too much, because if I do, it might end up creasing. But it definitely gives good coverage, and it is easy to blend out. And I do think that if I don't use too much, and I said it, I definitely don't have problems with creasing. But we are gonna do, like I said, almost like the 2016. I feel like I've seen a lot like 2016, but make it modern. I've seen a lot of that as of late. I saw many MUA do a look like that not too long ago. And I'm like, I can get behind that. I really like that, because I do feel like some things 2016 do feel a little dated today, but I also think that some things like having fun with makeup, doing a super bright under eye without making it like stark white, is still like considered glam today and still works. It's just like when you want to do something like inspired by a look, you might not need to do everything. I'm still using the Glam Light powder. I'm very much enjoying this powder. So I'm just gonna set my under eyes, because this is the part that creases, and my smile lines here. And then we're gonna go in with some liquid bronzer. So I was using my trusty FO2 for my under eyes, and now I'm using the Colourpop Soul Body. This is the Liquid Sun Glow Drops, and I'm gonna use that with my FO3, which is my preferred for liquids. And I'm gonna use this as a sheer glowy warm bronzer on the outer perimeter of my face and a little bit around my cheekbones. I think that this one has enough like color to it so you can use it as a liquid bronzer. It reminds me a little bit like not in consistency, because this is more gel-like than the Makeup by Mario liquid bronzer, but in how much color it has to it, I would say that this is a pretty decent dupe if you were looking for a liquid sheer bronzer that you could either use in your foundation on its own or as a sheer liquid bronzer like I do. I definitely think that this one from Colourpop is a very good alternative. It's not as runny as the one from Makeup by Mario. I will say for foundation mixing, I prefer the one from Makeup by Mario, but just for sheer bronzing, this one works just as well. Is there different colors or just one color? This one says Bronze Glow. I don't know if there's more colors. I did get sent this as PR, so I'm not 100% sure if there are more colors or if this is it. Before we do blush, I have a couple of different lip products here to try. I do want to end up wearing the gloss from the Twilight New Moon collection, because it's this glimmery red. And I'm very excited to try that one. But I wore this one yesterday. This is the new L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluronic Lip Oil. This is a little stinging. I didn't think that it was gonna be, but I'm just letting you know. It looks beautiful on the lips. It smells wonderful because it smells minty. So I thought this was gonna be a minty, like, it's almost like, it looks like a gloss and feels like an oil-in gloss, like a hybrid. But it does have a little bit of a stingy sensation. Not terrible, like I can deal with it. But it is not as much as the Too Faced ones, but also more than the Makeup by Mario that just has a slight tingle. This has more than that. This does irritate a little bit. So I just wanted to let you know in case you were also wondering about this one. But what I will be wearing is this one. I have been loving this one. This is the Superstay Teddy Tint by Maybelline. This is a beautiful packaging, beautiful product. This is a sheer red. I do have a lip liner on, so I want to show you just a thin layer. So I'm just gonna do a thin layer. I'm not gonna build this up because what I have noticed, this is very gel-like and it does dry down on the lips and it gives a beautiful tint to the lips that I think is stunning. When I try to build this up, I do feel like it becomes a little sticky. I don't have that problem with a thin layer, but when I tried to build it up, like add a second layer, I did feel like it became a little bit sticky, not unbearable, but I had a little bit of a tack to it, which I didn't love. So a sheer layer is the way to go. This does not hold up through like a dinner or a lunch, but you can wipe off whatever's left because oils does get this one to dissolve if you're eating, like I was eating like tacos, so clearly the oils were like making it go away. And I tried to apply a second layer and it became tacky. So what I recommend is wiping your lips and reapplying it new. And it did last a really long time on me. I think these are beautiful. They're similar in look to the ones from Benefit that I talked about in my yearly favorites last year. I would say the big difference is that these don't build as easily as the one from Benefit because those build more easily without being tacky. And this one has more of a gel texture going on. I like them, but I like them more sheer, like this. We are going to be doing the Glimmer Blush Drop. I think these are part of the same drop from Revlon, like as they both say Glimmer in the same kind of a font. This one I think is made to emulate the way that the Hourglass packaging for blushes look. And I have not tried those. So I don't know if the Hourglass ones are as pigmented as these ones are. So I'm going to do this. Because the thing is with these, what I've noticed is that these are more pigmented than I thought they were going to be. I thought these were going to be more a liquidy, like a sheer wash of color, but I definitely think that these have way more pigment to them than I thought they were going to have. So you can see they definitely go on pretty pigmented, and that's why I would definitely not use these directly on the skin. Definitely on the back of your hand and blending them in. Oh, this is more glowy actually than this blush is, because I'm noticing now that this brush definitely has some highlighter in it. But this is a glowy blush. It definitely has a glow to it, but it's not sparkly or metallic, but it is definitely a blush that has some glow to it. You can see on my hand that it definitely has some glow to it. I think it's a really pretty blush, but I will say because of how opaque it is, I don't know if we needed this dropper kind of a packaging, because I'm like, it's so kind of pigmented, honestly. So I'm like, I don't know. The dropper, did we need that? I'm sure we're going to see that from more brands. Going forward, because Hourglass had it. I'm sure some other brands had it before as well. And I'm thinking we're probably going to see that from more brands. I feel like it became a little bit too much here. Let me go in with a little of the powder. Also, I did cow print nails. Obsessed does not begin to cover. This is my new personality now. Cow print nails. Yeehaw, that's what you're going to be seeing me with. Love it. We are going to be applying some Physicians Formula Diamond Dust over. I got this one in PR. I don't even know where. I don't know where I got this one. I think I might have gotten it at the Creators and Friends Christmas party. And I want to try it on. I think this is one of those meant to be like a wet look glimmer glitter formulas. It definitely looks like a wet look on the skin, but you can see that it is like sparkly when you get closer. But honestly, over an already glowy blush that's a liquid, it just looks a little wet and lovely. But I do feel like this is one of those highlighters that will look best here and not like on top of your brows or nose, because you're gonna look like you made out with a Christmas bauble, which, listen, that might be your look. It's just not what I'm going for today on a random Tuesday. Okay, let's dive into some of these new moon things. I already showed you the lip gloss, and we'll end up using the lip gloss at the end, but I want to show you the Super Shocks. So these are in We Won't Bite, which I think we will be using today, and the Volturi, which is like a dark red kind of a thing. I think I'll be saving this one and just see if maybe I can put that in a future giveaway or something, because like I have the box and everything. I am very grateful for the PR that I get, but I don't get to use all of it. So if I know that I want to use this one, that's like an old gold almost. It looks like a burnished, like mustardy old gold. I'll just be using this one, and I'll save the other one for a giveaway. There's also some crayons here, and I did actually swatch all of these crayons because I don't know if you have seen, maybe you're new here, I don't know, but I did mention these multi-chrome crayons from ColourPop as the worst, one of the worst makeup products of 2024, because I didn't think that these were honestly that good. But so I wanted to swatch these and see, like, are we dealing with the same thing? So I want to use one of these today, and I think we will be using maybe this one that is called Wolf Girl, because I swatched them and I'm like, I think they figured it out, because these were much creamier, much more pigmented, and a more visible shift than the ones from last year were. This is a Wolf Girl, Vampire Girl, and did you hear my tummy growl? I think I need a snack. And It's Always Been Him, which is like a, this one is really oily. That's crazy, actually. Really oily. I don't know if you can see how glistening that is. I have no idea what that is about, but let's put the cap on and pretend that didn't happen. But I think the one we will be using is the one that I had first, which was Wolf Girl, which is like a green, gold, peachy red kind of a thing. So I think we will be using that one on top, because I want to try some of these things out, because of course we have the palette. So this is the Twilight and New Moon palette, and I thought they did a good job with the first Twilight palette. I thought the color scheme was very on par with the first movie, and I do think the color scheme of this one is very on par with, oh, I have the plastic still, with the second movie. There is a picture from the movie, and the color scheme is pretty much the New Moon color scheme. You know, I am dragged to a mustard like this, and it pains me to say that I actually think we will be using this one instead. It's called Marry Me. This is making me want to rewatch the movies. I did get sent this collection as PR from ColourPop. Again, it was a little bit late because of the wildfires. And I do have a code with ColourPop, which is Angelica, and you can get some money off with ColourPop. It does work on everything that is not a bundle or an already discounted thing like sale or discounted bundle. And sometimes they don't work on new releases at the day that they're released. Take it up with ColourPop, but you can always use my code or just go through my affiliated link. But I'm excited about this one. So since we will be using this one as a shimmer, this looks really pretty too, Alice. The yellowy one, I'm thinking let's start with Your Everything and then go into Marry Me, and we'll see where we are with those. This is the shade Senior Year, and I'm putting that in the outer corner, and I'm using an E10, which is one of the new brushes that I launched with Cinch Beauty, and I'm just buffing it in right now. I'm literally just putting it in because I want to have like a really dark outer corner, and I'm just working it into the eye primer in a little sliver. Something like that. And now I'm going to be buffing a little bit on the edge, just blending it out a little bit. It's not super pigmented, but it's definitely buildable, which honestly is a really great quality to have in a shadow, because sometimes it can be really intimidating when a shadow is like incredibly pigmented straight out of the gate, and there's like no give to it. It's like full on pigment. It's either 0 or 100. I do prefer a shadow. The best quality a shadow can have is blendable. No, the best quality a shadow can have is buildable, then blendable, because I don't mind blending a little bit extra if that means that I can still build up the color to the intensity that I want. Okay, I think we're landing on something pretty good here. Still using the same color and the same technique with the brush. And I think that's pretty good. So we're gonna switch it to an EO4. And now we're gonna do Marry Me, which is the more slightly olive leaning, it's like an olive leaning beige. You can see there's definitely like a green undertone to this beige. And I feel like this will work really good with the shimmer shadows that I am gonna put. Normally I do not miss the opportunity to wear a yellow with a brown, but I felt like this olivey beige would work so good together with that Super Shock. So I didn't want to pass that opportunity by. Since also I don't want to be that predictable. Listen, I might be predictable, but I don't want to be that predictable. So I'm just buffing on the edge, and then I'm going to go back with that dark brown and re-intensify. I'm going back with that Your Everything, looking at the shade, and I'm just re-intensifying and just blending into that olivey shade so that we have the look that we are looking for. And I'm excited about this. There are some glitter sparkles here. Can you see that? And that's from the highlighter. I don't know if that tells you that you need to do the eyeshadow first and highlighter after, but that's what it's telling me. That's what it's telling me for sure. So I did the same under my eyes as well. And I think that this is a nice like grungy brown khaki olive situation. So we are going to do this Super Shock. I have like the new claw, so I don't know how this is going to work out, because Super Shocks do work best with your finger. See, that's going to be perfect. I knew it. I knew picking that olivey beige was going to be perfect for this look. Okay, I'm putting this on the lid and just gently pressing and blending into the matte. That looks really, really nice. I mean, that looks really nice. I might need to blend in some bit of the dark brown again, but overall, that looks really good. I do want to put some of that crayon on, so I will finish this look up. I'll put some mascara on, but not falsies. And then we'll play with the crayon on top and just see like what difference does it make, because I still think that this is a good look like on its own. So this is where we're at right now. And I gotta say, this is a really nice, like smoky olivey look that I think looks really great. I did put a little bit, I have this olive green ColourPop, Too Faced liner. I don't even know if this one still exists. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. I think it's called Killer Camel, but I don't even know if it's available. Let me put down the gloss. This one is called, what is it called? Runs with Vampires. Oh, there's also a body oil, a glow oil. I'm actually gonna save this one for summer, because the one I had before, I can't find it. And this is this beautiful golden. And there are occasions where I actually wear body oils like this in the summer. And there's also 2 lip kits. And I love that this one is called You Can't Trust Vampires. And the other one is called Bella, Where the Hell Have You Been, Loca? Epic. Epic. Elite. Love it. These though, let me put up a picture of how these looks. They do have this like matte lipstick formula that I didn't love from Colourpop. So I'm actually, again, I'm going to give this to someone who will appreciate it more. This gloss formula though, that smells good. It smells like the Swedish soup candy, like Tutti Frutti. This is the Ultra Glossy, I think. Ultra Glossy formula, right? Yes. And this is my favorite gloss formula from Colourpop. I didn't put on a thick layer because I wanted the color underneath it to still show. But I think that it's pretty. It's more metallic than it is sparkly. And as a sheer gloss, I think that's pretty decent. Okay, let's put on this one that is called Wolf Girl. And let's see. Oh, I definitely have, you know, you can tell when you have like a cat hair on your lip. Let me excavate this. Okay. You can tell it's definitely a little bit more of a rusty color. Okay, this is definitely a little bit more, a little warmer. It's not that olivey green, which I mean, we kind of knew coming in. But it's swatched so beautiful, so I want to see if we're able to also get that look from it. Oh, there's definitely a multi-chrome look to it. It's not super visible, but I definitely think it's more than it was before. I mean, there's definitely something going on. More shift than I could see in the old ones, but maybe not the most impactful multi-chrome you'll ever see in your life. I hope that makes sense. Is this the best makeup look I've ever done? Maybe not, but I really do like it. I think it looks good. I will say, here on camera, the cheeks look great. In low light, or in direct, like above light, like I went to the bathroom, it's very sparkly. It's very sparkly. And for that reason, I think that this highlighter, it's definitely like, you better like sparkles. Like if you, I'm just telling you, this is a very sparkly highlighter. My favorite, the foundation. The foundation is beautiful. I also really enjoy this lip product. I think when it comes to the New Moon palette, plastic is still here, I very much enjoy this color scheme. There are still, I think there's 2 of those more glittery shadows here. Again, I do wish the ColourPop would just stop with those. I think they're gritty. I don't like them on, you see I have a very prominent hood here and I can feel them in that hood, and it's not my favorite formula from them. I do really wish they would stop with that. I would honestly like just another like traditional shimmer instead of that, or just a matte, honestly anything other than that. But I appreciate the color story of this. I think it has a lot of interesting undertones. I think if you like more grungy, neutral, like yellow, like warm, murky shadows, I think you would really appreciate the color story of this palette, because I think it is a really nice color story. And I especially appreciate this shadow that's called Alice, because it is a yellow that has a slight peach to it. It's not super metallic, but I really think that this would be such a nice everyday shade that has like something interested to it. A muted yellow with a slight peach sheen to it. It's really beautiful. I really love shades like that. So overall, I think this makeup look is really successful, even though I probably will change the lippy for something a little bit more maybe yellow leaning, because I'm actually gonna film after this. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna film a book video for my book channel. If you haven't checked out my book channel, it's always linked down below. That's why I have this t-shirt. That's why I'm recommending Metal Slinger to you, because I'm very much into books and I'm so excited to be creating content around that as well. If you're interested in any of these items, they're gonna be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon again. I need to wash my hands. Very soon again in a new video. Bye!